Hello everybody, this is Pam from Nana's Crafting Cottage, back with you again for the long-awaited train journal flip through. Yay! I've been working myself to a frazzle trying to get this done, and so here it is. This is all part of it as well. So, first of all, thank you to all my new subscribers. Welcome. And welcome back to all my current subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. I also want to say, if you like these videos and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when my videos come out. So, without further ado, because this is going to take a little while, let's start going in it. First of all, we'll go into the tag pocket that I made here recently. It's filled with all kinds of digitals and a lot of vintage ephemera that I have in my stash here. And use the Tim Holtz fellow. Oh, I've got it back there. I'm sorry. I know I mentioned it when I made him. And there we are. All kinds of goodies. These things I made just the other day on video with you. The labels. And there's all kinds of goodies in here. And yes, I did make this with you guys. Okay. I'm pooped. Let's put him aside. This I just folded. I had put some coffee dyed paper on the back. This is a printed out blueprint of a train. Thought it'd be kind of fun just as a novelty thing. That goes with this journal. So here it is, and I did it with some faux leather, the closure, and yes, she's a chubby one. Woohoo! All kinds of goodies in here. I finally had to just stop myself because I was like, wait a minute, this isn't going to be able to close at all. So, here is the beginning. I do have this clipped on. This does come off, and I showed you that when I put this part together. There's some map underneath. And this is a dangle that I made some time back. Added that. This is a train schedule that I stitched around and put some leather on. This is a faux metal label done with the metal tape, the sticky tape, and I did a video on that. Did a lot of stamping and some Tim Holtz ruler fabric here. I had made this little glassine bag. I have some glassine paper, and I did make all of them that are in this journal. And some tickets here and a suitcase. And then I have goodies in here. And that goes in there, and I did that off camera. And then on the other side is pretty much the same type of thing, only it's for it's a his and a her. I think I named them Wilhelm and Hattie. So there you go. Keep the name or not. And I did these faux enamel tags on video, so I decided to add that to each one. Each ID tag has one. Can't talk. Okay, here's another dangle that I made, and another map that I stitched around, covered on the back. And I did have a couple other things on here, but I was not happy with them, so I covered it with this digital. Did some more stamping, and another glassine bag that I had made and added to it, and put some more goodies in there, tickets. All right. Now, to go into all this yumminess here. Woo-wee, I tell ya. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went goofy, let's put it that way. Okay, let me see if I can find something here to rest this on. Let me see if I can build something up here a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. And this is some eco-dyed paper that I had gotten from Tall Cactus Studio, and I did link that on the video that I did on selecting these papers. So you can go back to that video, and her shop should be linked there. I did a stamp here, added some suitcases and a ticket here. And then I made a pocket, decorated it, and I have some stuff in there. And then this is some packaging paper that I had sprayed and added some Tim Holtz ruler fabric to it. Here's the other side of it. And I just left it because I like the colors. And I did the stitching of this, or at least the gluing on the edges of the papers on a video when I selected the papers. But afterwards I did stitch on each one throughout here. So this is a schedule, train schedule, and I added some cheesecloth to it, just stapled it on. And same over here, just stapled it on. This is a vintage prescription pad, I believe. I'm not sure. Statement of correction. Anyway, it's a vintage piece. I used a bag for this particular pocket, and I did put some things in there with a small paper clip and some train schedule and some ruler paper. I think that is that's not Tim Holtz, that is I can't remember, sorry. And then I had done some printing on transparent sheets, and so I put that there. I had gotten these stars and these wooden lanterns off of Etsy, and they just came the other day, so I added that to this pocket. And in the pocket is one of the tags that I did on video here recently. So you can go back to that video and see how I did that if you haven't seen it before. Okay, so that fits in there nicely. And these are the tickets that I glued down as an edging, and I stitched, and they're on both sides. And this is just some old shorthand book page, and I put one of the labels that I made just the other day on video and added some things and put a little paper clip in there. Here's a vintage journal or ledger sheet, and I put another schedule in here with a little tiny bow clip, a train digital, and a vintage receipt. And then I did a corner pocket here and stapled at each end and put one of those labels on that I had made. And this is a vintage check, I think it is. Yeah, looks like a check, and vintage book page. And here's the other side of the pocket that I put a stamp that I had made from the digitals. I just shrunk them down and made stamps out of them, and put a ticket here and some train digitals here. And then I made this book page pocket and put the stamp and ticket and numbers. Everything in here, except for some of the train digitals, are from my stash. Everything. So that makes me feel good that I'm able to add it in here and have someone else enjoy it. Okay, and then here's one of the projects I did. It has a train inside, and I did do a video on that. You can look that up. And then here's a glassine bag that I had coffee dyed a long time ago. It was a long one, and I just cut it and glued the bottom and used the other half in another spot and put some tickets and vintage things in here. And here I found this in my stash of Tim Holtz pieces and put some of his, not his, but I think it was Stamperia. I can't remember. It was a scrap in my stash. Put one of his little cutie pies there, little paper dolls. This is a train timetable that I found in there, so it was perfect. And here are some digitals that I printed out of trains, and I had included the links to those in my other videos. And then these I just found in my stash, and they were all cut out. I just distressed them a little bit with ink. This is paper that I have in my stash. And here's some more of that background paper, and I put some Tim Holtz paper dolls here. And this is a hidden paper clip, so it comes off and on. And I cut a train out and put this on from the digitals, and this is some of the eco-dyed paper. And found these in my stash and thought they were perfect. Here's the other side of the hidden paper clip, and here is a vintage card, like a punch card. And this paper I found in my stash. It's Tim Holtz, and I really liked it, so I couldn't cover it up. And the same over here. I thought, no, I think I'll just leave it like that. I really like it. So whoever gets this journal, they can do whatever they want there in those spots. And then here's a vintage card, registered package receipt with a vintage journal page. I put a copy of the digital train and a vintage postcard inside here with a paper clip. Here's the other half of that tall glassine bag, and just added some cutouts here. Put a little lantern sticker on there. Remember, I have those in my stash from Your Creative Studio box. So I dug them out. These are from Tim Holtz, and again, I did the stitching on all of the edges that I did with you guys on that video. And I've had this piece in my stash for forever, and it's been stitched on, and so I added him on there with a vintage ticket, a vintage piece here, and a vintage label, and another piece that I had done on transparent paper or transparent sheets. Cut the train out and used a ticket here. Here's the other side of that tall vintage piece of ledger. I just couldn't do anything to it because it's so pretty, has such a nice patina around it, and it's quite thin, so I didn't want to push the issue. And here's another piece of that paper, Tim Holtz paper from my stash. Here's another pocket I made from an old book page, decorated it, and added a train digital in there. Here's the other side of that packaging paper that I had colored some time back. This is a doily that I had colored a long time ago, and just added a few little things to it, kind of blend in with the colors there. And then here is some Tim Holtz paper, and I found this in some of my Tim Holtz stash. I have a lot of different things. I started digging through them, and I was like, oh, okay. Kept finding things for trains, so it's like perfect. Here's the other side of that eco-dyed paper. I just love that. And this is coffee dyed paper here. This is the second signature. And here is the other tag that I did the other day, a video on. Here's a rusty star. I had just gotten this one and the small ones, and from Amazon. And these were done by hand from a gentleman on Etsy. I just love them. And they smell burnt too. I love it. And vintage, I think it's German dictionary page, and the train, and some of this lace that I've had for quite a while. This is Braille paper here. I just left it as is because it's so pretty by itself. And I stamped him on book page and used one of the mini glitch stamps here. Again, I had stitched this. And I got these digitals, and so I cut them out and put them together here on the other side. And here is the other flapped index card that I did a video on. So both of them have trains on the inside, and I decided to put both in there. Come on. It's going to be stubborn on me. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now you're home. And I stitched here and here. And I did put Tim Holtz washi tape on the bottom of both ends because it is such a delicate paper. I didn't want to do anything else to it, but I did add these digitals. Distressed them and added them. This is another sheet of packaging paper that I included in this signature. And this is a collage I used with a vintage guest check that I had in my stash that had been coffee dyed. Some vintage old book page here and digital. This is the label that I made the other day, and another digital here in burlap. And then I stamped here a couple places. And then this is a book page sewn envelope that my sister, the Crafting Auntie, had given me a long time ago. And so I decided to add some of the things in here that I had cut out. And yeah, just put a tie on there, and that worked out good. And here's a page that shows one of the digitals here, and another one. And then I put some rub-ons there, just as a little, and one of the little lanterns here. And here's the other side of that digital piece of beautiful paper. This is a digital piece that I don't know exactly what they used these for, but this is a vintage ledger as well. It's all handwritten. It's really neat. And so I put another schedule here and bull clipped it, and this is a vintage piece of certificate here. It goes all the way down. So that. And then here is a digital of some eco-dyed paper that I had in my stash. And this is Tim Holtz product here. Here's another gentleman that I stamped him on some of my coffee dyed paper that I do. Old book page on the back, behind there. This is a digital in here, and then I stamped here. And then this is the center of the book, or this signature, and this is the dyed paper that I get from Pink Willow. I just love it. It's just so neat. And I used a bag in this too, and I decorated it with this little guy and added some things in here. Here's another gentleman with his dog, and put another piece there and decorated it. I got to put something in here, but I decorated that on top of this bag, put some vintage dictionary page there, and decorated on the back with trains. And here's some more digital in another corner pocket that I stapled and then decorated with what I had in my stash. And here are several things: vintage book page, receipt, dictionary page, and some digitals in here. Here is the other side of the vintage ledger. It was a great big one, and I just had no way could I cut it, so I folded it so that the whole thing is in here. And I put some items in here from my stash, vintage postcard. Okay, hold that back up. Here's another page of that ledger. And then here is some food wrap paper that I put digitals of the trains on there. And then use this paper from my stash. I thought it looked pretty against this one here. And here's some Tim Holtz scrapbook paper here. The other side of the packaging paper. And then here's the other side of this other vintage ledger, and I put a small pocket here and added these digitals here, and then added these vintage postcard and digitals in here and stitched. And I did put the washi here because it is so tender. And I had some of this really neat vintage looking paper in my stash, so I put that there as well as here. Here's the other side of the Braille paper, and here is the last of the coffee dyed sheet. Whoo-wee! It went quite a bit faster than I thought it would. But yes, these are all removable, and there's map underneath. I put eyelets throughout. These are index clips here that I used to hold the ID tags in, lots of stamping, and yeah. So I wanted you guys to see that before I send it out on its way next week. And yeah, so I hope you like it. I'm going to be starting another project, but as far as going on video with it, I more than likely will not, unless it's just parts and pieces for it. So I'm going to be thinking up something to do for you guys on Tuesday. So anyway, there she is in all her glory. Ah. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave a message below, and I will see you on Tuesday, and I'll have something going on for us, okay? Take care, God bless, and see you later. Bye.